Hey everyone, Shawn Clement here from the Richmond Hill Golf Learning Center, home base for wisdom in golf. And today's video, Phil Mickelson is right. Yes, finally he's talking about it. Maybe because he was under the tutelage of Butch at the time and they were trying to nip and tuck and tighten up his swing. He realized that later on, now he's getting a little older, that's not where he needs to be, and he's realizing that right now. And so maybe him and Brandel had a little conversation, because he's talking about how the modern swing is wrapped up in a back brace. And we completely agree with that here at Wisdom in Golf, and we have been teaching a strain-free, free-flowing swing for over 20 years now. And when we look back, because of the anatomy of the human body, we had to look back and from the 1900s through the 1960s to find the best material that respected human anatomy. Bobby Jones, Walter Hagen, Gene Sarazen, Byron Nelson, Sam Snead, Jack Nicklaus in his prime in the 60s and 70s. He moved beautifully with this. So I want you to put your attention to the part of the spine here between the pelvis and the rib cage. And you'll notice here's the sacrum. This is your tailbone. And every vertebrae, starting with the sacrum, has a built-in stopper in it called a facet joint. And the facet joint is to prevent the vertebrae on top of that one from spinning out. If it spins out, cut your spinal cord, you're in big trouble. These are the protectors of your health, okay? So now, this is not meant to twist here. It's a buffer zone in case you make a wrong move at some particular point. It's not made to torque up. So now, if you resist with the lower body, you got your legs and your pelvis here, and you're really trying to hold on with the legs and prevent the legs from turning, well, the leg is the hip. The hip bone's connected to the leg bone, and we know how that song goes. Well, it's a whole domino effect. We're dealing with the whole body. We're not dealing with a sum of body parts, okay? So you never go body part thinking when you're playing golf. You always want to, swing with a whole body experience, always. So now, since this is not going to give, if you coil this up against this, all you're going to do is wring out the tissue between each facet joint. And you're going to create a premature deterioration of that spine for absolutely nothing. And for those of you out there who think that by, you're going to be way more powerful, and the guys have, they're looking at shorter careers right now, but they think they can perform better, that's all horse hockey, okay? We're not built that way. And thank goodness we have some very like-minded individuals right now in a spotlight that are going to really shed some light on the situation. We're there to back them up big time, okay? So that's not going to turn. This coils against this. You're in trouble, so don't do that. So that's why we talk about, if you look at, we've had some conversations of Bubba Watson. And if you look at Phil Mickelson in his prime, when he first got out on the scene coming out of college golf, he had a narrow stance, feet were toed open, had a huge backswing with the lead knee coming behind the ball. It was awesome. He actually had both feet solid on the ground. He was already set, okay? So there was no nip and tuck needed. There was just, hey, where am I going? And how am I going to get there? And I'm going to feel this, and we're just going to perfect the art of finding targets. So now, thank goodness, I think Phil speaking this way just elongated his career well into the Champions Tour, whereas other players are not as lucky. Other players are already struggling with back problems way before their mid-40s. So we won't name names. You know who you are. So I want to release to the target. And this you can start doing at any time in your career, right? So we can just allow the body to fully turn in the backswing. So how does that work? Well, the best way to go about it is think about, when you're going bowling. All of you have bowled before. I'm going to take my kettlebell right here, and you'll notice that the shoulders only have 20 degrees of range on top of that rib cage. They don't have 90 degrees of range. That doesn't exist. So when you're using rib cage and pelvis on top of the hips, Your hips are the ball socket system. That's where the turntable is. The turntable is not in your vertebrae. They're not built for turning. They're built for staying secure and to have that beautiful central nervous system fire on all cylinders. You start kinking up that thing, and then you're going to reduce performance everywhere in the body. So I want to take this kettlebell. Let's say I'm bowling with 2 arms, and I'm going to bowl towards you. Well, if I don't remove my body out of the way, all I'm going to do is crash my arms into my rib cage. So what I want to do is allow my left arm full freedom into the backswing. So don't let the left arm hit you going back, and don't let the right arm hit you coming through. So notice my right arm is free to go that way. My left arm is free to go that way. So when you remove the obstacles and you say, okay, all I'm going to do is not let my arm hit me. So you see what happens? The legs start actively participating in your swing without you thinking about it. And you are your own self-preservation system. You know, we have some evolutionary experts here at Wisdom in Golf that tell us that, hey, we've been around for 2.5 to 4 million years, and there's a reason for that. It's like we're gravity geniuses. If I'm skipping a stone on water, I'm going to take the stone and skip it out there. The first thing that's going to happen is the brain's going to go get the ground. And it's going to use the ground to get the body out of the way so I have access to my target. Well, there's my ball. There's my stone. Throw the stone into the ball. Well, I don't have to shift my weight or clear my hips. I'm already facing the target. So now, if that's your target, and then you'll see a beautiful video I did with my daughter called Be Savvy with Your Chest. This will get you the wherewithal as far as whether you're a man or a woman, you have to have access for those arms to swing freely. So, you know, the tour players are being much more aware of that. They're more astute of that. But Bubba Watson's played that way his whole life. Tom Watson could be a poster boy for what we teach here at Wisdom in Golf. And the list goes on. Hale Irwin, you got to check this guy out. Why do you think he's got 45 wins on the senior or the Champions Tour? I mean, Bernard Langer's not going to catch him. So the longevity has a purpose. Tom Watson, you know, did not finish in only 4 events in 40 years. What does that tell you? So Phil's on the right track. Brandel's on the right track. Peter Kostis is talking about the same thing, and the list is starting to grow pretty significantly, and it's all, you know, revolving around what we do. And so if you really want to learn how this works and you want to instill it in your own system, give us a call. We're at the Richmond Hill Golf Learning Center. Right now, it's very favorable to come up to Toronto. The Canadian dollar is relatively low, so you're going to have a nice, a nice discount right off the cuff coming up to see us. And we are the experts insofar as this is concerned. This is really the most efficient way, the most pain-free way, the most strain-free way to swing a golf club, and you'll be able to enjoy this game forever. All right? We'll talk to you soon.